Well, in our series of finfluencers, today we have Pranjal Kamra, the founder of Finology, and it's fabulous to have him with us here in the studio in Delhi. Pranjal, great to have you join us here, especially to discuss your journey and share with us really the makings of such an influential platform. Talk to us really about how you got into this, where the journey started.
Thank you so much, Abha, for calling me here. It's a pleasure being in the studio today. You know, my journey was really fascinating. I'm from a small town called Raipur from Chhattisgarh. So I was born there, studied there. And so while I was in my law school, I realized I'm absolutely pathetic as a law student. You know, out of 149 students in my batch, my rank was, I believe, 137 or 139. So the absolute worst. So I was looking for alternatives. My parents were looking for alternatives. One day while watching a television channel, a news channel, just like this one, so news channels are lucky for me, I saw a program on the stock market and that hit me that this looks interesting. So I asked my father for money. So he gave me 20,000 rupees saying, if you can grow this, you do this, otherwise you get back to studying law. So as luck would have it, he had just gifted me a scooter called TVS Vigo. So I had upgraded from a bicycle. I was 18, 19 back then. So I was really in love with that scooter and absolutely emotional about it. So the first stock that I bought was TVS Motors. And beginner's luck, in 1 year, it went up 9 times. Wow. And I thought, I know everything. I know how to crack it. So from there, I got interested. Next few stocks, they went bankrupt. And I was back to the ground. So then I decided I had to study it more. So went to NISM, National Institute of Securities Market. It's an institute ran by SEBI, the market regulator. Did 1 year PG from there. And from then on, I always wanted to do business. I always wanted to do something of my own, but I had no money. So, you know, someone who has no money, YouTube, it's free. And starting a blog, it's free. So that is what I did. And for the first 8 months, I made 60 videos. No one was watching me. Wow. Absolutely no one. And, you know, I remember watching a movie which released in 2018 or 17, Secret Superstar. You know, she made videos exactly the way I did. A chair, books on top of it, and then a cheap mobile camera. And her first video goes viral. And I had tears in my eyes. I made 60 videos and I think I have done well. And, you know, nothing clicks. Right. Fortunately, 2 months down the line, 2 of my videos goes viral, Feb 2018, and from then on, it has been growing, thankfully.
You know, that's an amazing story, especially to get a sense of the trials and tribulations early on, and that there can be that aha moment. That's also very inspiring because everyone's striving for that, striving to crack it. What else, Pranjal, is your USP? Because from when you started to today, there are so many influencers out there. What brings people back to your platform?
So, you know, because in my investing journey, I have read hundreds of books and there are few things that stick with you. So, you know, one thing that sticks with me and I think is my USP is I am playing the long-term game. I'm not here to make short-term profits and I'm not looking for an exit. You know, I am here for the next 40 years of my life, maybe 50, maybe 60 if I'm healthy. And I want to do this all my life. I really enjoy it. And if you're in the long run, you are willing to make short-term sacrifices. You're not money-minded. You're not trying to shortchange your audience. So honesty, I think that's visible to the audience because in videos over the long term, you cannot hide anything. So it's important to be honest. And then, of course, you know, Geo helped. It came when I was ready to make YouTube videos. So thanks to Geo that way. And of course, I mean, you know, are connecting with the audience in the sense that, you know, when you as a student, when I was a student, what were the problems I faced? Where were the points where the teacher lost me because he or she was not interesting anymore? Right. So I think as a student, I think as a listener, and I think, you know, I was never intelligent. And that kind of helps because the job of a teacher is to make the weakest student understand. So I put myself in that place. And I think, you know, ultimately my job is to create interest in the subject. And rest the person will automatically do. And fortunately for me, unfortunately for us, financial literacy is very low. You know, we still don't know that current account does not pay you 0% interest. It can actually pay you 5.5% with no additional risk. We still don't understand the difference between ULIPs and investments. So because it's so low, I think, you know, I am able to provide quality information. So these 2 factors.
And it's really all about that information in today's fast-paced world. Tell us what's coming up for you next. I mean, you've talked a lot about how people can actually look at investing and making strong returns as early as in their 20s. You're a prime example of that, and I'm sure everyone looks to you for that as well, and how to crack it. Share with us some of the emerging ideas, themes, ways to look at the markets, that you encourage young investors to try out.
So, I have always believed that there are 4 key touch points in every investor's journey. Whenever someone is looking to invest for the first time, he Googles what are stocks, what are mutual funds. So, every investor's journey, most investors' journey, start from education. That's the first touch point. So, we as a company, we launched educational products. What is the next touch point? The biggest problem I faced when I was analyzing stocks is that I know what's written in the books. I have learned it. But how do I apply it? Because I don't have access to the data points that institutional grade investors have. I don't have access to that data. So providing the right data is the next key point. So, which is why we launched Ticker by Phenology, which is a data analytics platform for retail investors. Okay. What is the third touch point? You need an easy and seamless way to transact. So now we are building that. What is the last touch point? Once you get busy with your lives, busy with your family, you want to outsource your investment decisions to someone else.
Right.
So, which is why we launched Chhattisgarh. So, we are a company based out of Chhattisgarh. We launched Chhattisgarh's first investment advisory, which is registered by SEBI. And now we are launching a DIY investment advisory platform.
Okay, so lots going on. You're going to be super busy if you're not already. And tell me, when you are looking at markets where you see a lot of growth, is that coming from non-metro cities? You yourself are from Chhattisgarh, but are you finding that a lot of the interest is coming in from there and from a younger demographic?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, see, we as a company are operating from Raipur. So personally, this wasn't possible if the world was not connected. If I was starting 5 years ago, it would not have been possible to start from Raipur simply because there was no infra to set up an office, no incubation centers, no internet. Similarly, on the consumer side, why is this happening that more and more demat accounts are being opened from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities? Because of first, internet. Onboarding is completely online. It's completely paperless. So, it's diminishing the boundaries between metros and non-metro city because now internet is the new infrastructure. The old school infrastructure, it's not anymore that important. Internet. And fortunately, we have internet access. So yes, that's one of the reasons. The second reason is, investing is now allowed to people with smaller ticket sizes. When I started, my father gave me 22,000 rupees, out of which 5,000 rupees I had to pay just to open my demat account.
Right.
These days, a demat account is free.
That's true.
So I think all these factors have, increased its penetration.
That's a really good point. While we have you, there's no way we can't ask you which themes and sectors you're looking at, what's exciting in the markets right now. We had the biggest listing from the tech space just, recently, and that really took everyone by storm. A lot of retail participation there as well. Everyone very excited about the Zomato IPO. What's looking exciting to you now?
Right. So, I stick to my circle of competence. I stick to what I understand. And I think this is true for everyone. You should invest in what you totally know and you can value. So, I think I am good at valuing tech companies, FMCG companies, business to consumer brands, and fintech and the finance space. So, I stick to that. Having said that, what's great with this new age companies launching IPOs is that as a millennial, we connect with these brands. We probably don't connect with Coal India, youngsters don't connect with what NMDC or NALCO is doing, but we are the consumers of, say, Nykaa is coming up with an IPO, LIC, NSE, Policy Bazaar, Zomato. We connect with these brands. And thereby, for the first time, the kind of products that youngsters use, that millennials use, those companies are now getting listed. 5 years ago, I had to look out for companies that I use, and invariably I would find out that they are not listed. So, everything is going tech. So, one simple theme to play out is look for industries, sectors, services which have not properly gone online, which are still offline. So, one example could be the legal tech industry. You don't have any unicorns in the legal domain. 5 years down the line, it's bound to happen that there will be 5 unicorns in the legal tech and compliance tech domain. So one, that's clear opportunity. EVs, everyone is talking about, But I have a slightly different take to it. EVs, it will lead to commoditization of all the car companies, because every car will look similar in the absence of engine, gearbox and things like that. So infra, EV is more of an infra play. So look for companies that can set up the infra around EVs. And another important, and we have all seen how these discount brokers have disrupted the traditional brokers, be it HDFC, ICICI, the Upstocks and the Zerodhas of the world have disrupted them. And now in the next wave, these startups will disrupt what? They'll disrupt the insurance sector, they'll disrupt the mutual fund sector. So these two industries are ready for disruption. They are begging for disruption, because these two industries are still working in the old model and it's no more viable. So a lot of new age fintech startups are entering the insurance and lending and AMC space, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Excellent, Pranjal. Great having you with us and sharing some of those insights. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.